This white American lady got a reality check that, in her words, left her in tears while she was in Ireland with her husband. Guys, you're going to want to see and hear this.
That moment when you go into a Northern Ireland bar and are immediately accused of being a bad person because you're from the United States.
So they saw her and just assumed that she's a bad person because she's from the United States. I wonder if there's any truth to their accusation.
Doesn't feel very good. Culture shock, I guess. But we're staying in this cute little coastal town, and we went to just enjoy a beer, and we're like, we don't want to talk about anything or anything like that, and it just ended up with me in tears. So, if you're an American citizen, maybe just proceed with caution.
In this video, she basically is playing victim, insinuating that the sole reason why these people in this bar treated her the way they did is because she's an American. And the caption of this video she wrote, "I've never felt more unwelcomed. Cushendale was beautiful. However, if you want to have a good cry, go to the Central Bar. If you are an American, just know you are not welcomed." And the implication of this statement is, beware, if you're an American, they don't like Americans. That's what she wants you to believe, but that's very far from the truth, because see, let me tell you, she posted this follow-up video sharing exactly what had gone down in that bar, and very slowly it all starts to come together. The picture starts becoming very clear as to why exactly the people in that bar assumed that she was a bad person. And spoiler alert, they are not wrong.
Story time of why I felt uncomfortable and unwelcomed in the north of Ireland. I walked in with my husband to the Central Bar, and I immediately noticed that they had the world news on, rightfully so. There's a lot of crazy things going on in this world.
A lot of which America, especially with Donald Trump being the sitting president right now, is responsible for. Just want to put that out there because it's very important, very valid for the conversation we are having, and you guys will see why much later.
And sure, they want to watch it. I'm a visitor in your country. That is completely your prerogative. You can watch or do what you want. That's fine. I genuinely mean that. But when I walked in, there was a cute little fireplace, and so I asked the gentleman sitting there if that table was open. They then said, yeah, you can sit there. And so my husband and I sat down. The woman behind the bar was so kind. She was very nice, gave us our pints, what have you. Then the gentleman said, are you American? And I said, yes, we're American. And I'm not lying to you when I say it instantly went from, yes, I'm American, to, well, who'd you vote for? And I kind of was just shocked. I'm like, wow, that was very direct. And I said, we're on vacation. We're trying to get away from all of that. We don't really want to talk about it.
Now, why didn't she want to answer that question? I wonder why. I wonder if it has anything to do with the orange man that's currently sitting in the White House and all the havoc that he's been wreaking on humanity globally. And the fact that maybe she probably voted for the guy.
This is literally your TikTok. Mr. President talks on TikTok. I'm so grateful for his efforts. Maybe they didn't like immigrants in their country. Maybe they thought you were going to trash the place. You are the problem. Why are we even... I needed this morning.
Not her finally being held accountable for her actions internationally, all the way in Ireland, and she can't stand it. But I love it for her, I do. And there's more to the clip, which we are going to be getting to in a moment. But I do want to quickly say in this section of the video that people like this really piss me off because they intentionally make the decision of voting terrible people into office so they can come do all the terrible things that they told them that they would do. And then they up and leave talking about some they want to be away from all of that, leaving the people who cannot up and leave, don't have the resources to live, to suffer and bear the consequences for the things that they voted for. Like, it really annoys me and really speaks to how evil and wicked and bad these people are. Earlier, she was talking about how they accused her of being a bad person. No, you were not accused. They stated facts. You are a terrible human being.
It instantly went from, yes, I'm American, to, well, who'd you vote for? And I kind of was just shocked. I'm like, wow, that was very direct. And I said, we're on vacation. We're trying to get away from all of that. We don't really want to talk about it. And I did not know that automatically meant, oh, you're a MAGA crazy Nazi that blah, 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 blah. Like I've been reading in my comments. Had no idea.
The only people I've seen that either shy or run away from the question of who did you vote for or cannot confidently say who they voted for are the people who voted for the terrible person in the lineup.
Can I ask you who you voted for?
That's a tough question.
Oh, oof.
Look at all of these lovely people.
Mm-hmm. Oof. I'm scared.
Is that going to be the out for me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well.
that's going to be it.
All right. And that's all she wrote.
Give it up for Matt, everybody. Thanks for shooting your shot, buddy. Good luck. Great hair. Wow.
He's going back to God's country.
I have never seen anyone who voted for Kamala Harris hesitate to say who they voted for when asked. So the fact that she did not want to answer the question, I think, in my humble opinion, tells us all we needed to know about who she voted for. Now, before we get back to her video, because no, the video isn't done, she had a lot more things to share with us, I want to, in this moment, very quickly let you guys know that she's kind of denying ever supporting Trump, right? So this person came into our comment section and said, why are people that vote for Trump so ashamed to admit they voted for Trump? And she commented saying, you have zero evidence. Basically saying that, implying, I would say, in my opinion, you guys let me know how you say that she did not vote for Trump, right? And somebody responded to her saying, you do realize your reposts are public, right? We see you love him. And someone else responded back saying she deleted them all and reposted stuff about Ireland. And it's just very interesting for me personally how much of a chicken, how much of a coward these people really are. Like, how is it that you voted for somebody and you cannot even stand behind who you voted for 10 toes down? Like, it's crazy. Small shake up like this and she's running around her page, combing through and deleting stuff. But thankfully, people had taken screenshots of some of these her reposts where she shows her allegiance to Trump and they had reposted it. So we do have evidence to back her support for Trump. Like this one, for example. This post was actually made by a creator by the name JK Bills. But if you look at the bottom right there, you would see her name there, Law Life. That's her TikTok handle. It's saying that she reposted this post.
Now, the other thing people were upset about was the fact that I called it Northern Ireland. I will say this. I did Google. A lot of people are like, can't you just Google search it? I did Google search Cushendall. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying it wrong too. Sorry. And I read Northern Ireland. And so that's what I said. And again, was not trying to be offensive to anybody. Now, if you're wanting to know what I said that really set them off, I'll tell you. They said, so where are you traveling from here? Fair question. I love bar talk. Yeah, I said, we started in Dublin. We went up to Giant's Causeway. And we just are kind of going to go all the way down until we hit Dublin again to go home. And he goes, oh, okay. So what brought you here? And I told him I have visited England and Wales and Scotland and I've visited everywhere in the UK, and so coming up here's the last spot so I can be able to say that I have been everywhere in the UK.
She thought Ireland is part of the UK, guys. And all I'm going to be saying to that is, you remember that clip where Trump said smart people don't like him?
Smart people don't like me, and they don't like what we talk about.
It tracks. It tracks every single time.
That is the moment when it just went dead silent and I was met with, you're in Ireland. This is not the UK. We're Irish. And I was like, oh, again, I apologize. Very sorry. I did not want to upset or offend. And I even went so far as to let him, I'm like, I'm so sorry about that. And he goes, let me tell you something. And so he continued to tell me why, they are not British, they are not the UK, that they're Irish, and how bad the British are. And they even showed me the plaque in the alley about the 1981 hunger strike. And I was very polite and keen to learn about something I don't know. I'm sorry if you find I'm uneducated. Maybe I don't know everything, but possibly that's why I'm there to learn.
Like, can we normalize researching and reading on a country before you go visit there? Like, nobody is saying that you have to know everything about the country because that's not even possible, right? Especially as a foreigner. But the basics, at least the basics, like whether or not Ireland is part of the UK, is information that I could be wrong, but you guys let me know what you think. I think that's information that you are supposed to know before visiting the country.
Um, and I was thrown off guard. I wasn't expecting. People are like, what do you expect? I'm sorry. I guess I did not expect to just be candidly like, well, who'd you vote for? And so everything at that, we went back into the bar after they showed me the plaque of the 1981 hunger strike. And then my husband and I continued just our own drink conversation. And because the news was on and because people tend to drink in pubs, the longer we were there, the more drunk people were getting and the more upset they were getting and the more nasty the comments began to come. And although they may not have been directed directly to me or my husband, yeah, it just in general, remove the politics, the whole bar atmosphere just felt very, very hateful. Just, I had a very low energy. I'm like, wow, it feels not good in here. It does not feel good in here.
Notice how till now she hasn't told us who she voted for. She never answered that person's question. But anyways, let's move on because we already know the answer to the question, right? She did say that the comments that were made in the bar were not directed at them. So all that she's experiencing right now with this, oh, I'm uncomfortable, this, that, and the third, they made me cry, whatever, they hurt my feelings, is because of her conscience that is worrying her. She knows that she voted for a bad person that is doing bad thing in the world, that's contributing to the evils that are in this world, that rightfully so the people in the bar were angry and bitter about, because who would not be angry with what's going on right now? Oh, let me guess, someone like her, right? Because she can just up and leave the evil whenever she feels like it, even though she voted for the evil. She don't care, right? She don't want to talk about that. She don't want conversations about this evil that she voted and contributed to its existence to destroy or ruin her vacation, right? So she meant actual good people, it seems, for the first time in her life, people who actually care about humanity and want to have a better world, and she did not know how to handle it. So now she feels triggered, even though, like she said, they were not coming for her. She felt like they were coming for her because she is, like I said, a contributing factor to the evils that we have in this world. And hit dogs are always going to her. Oh, they made me uncomfortable. Do you know how uncomfortable immigrants in America feel right now? All the people that have had to experience the injustice and brutality, and unfortunately, some of them died at the hands of ICE agents. You know how uncomfortable they feel. Families are getting torn apart. Little girls and women are getting essayed in ICE detention centers. And I learned recently that some of them are getting pregnant, unfortunately, and are being forced to carry this pregnancy to term against their will. That man freaking dropped a bomb, I mean a missile, in my country, Nigeria, on bloody freaking Christmas Day. People died. Cost of living constantly going up. Women's rights are getting stripped away. Man wants to start World War III so bad with all of the stuff he's doing in foreign countries. All of this stuff and more, because if we want to talk about them, we go there till tomorrow. We go there till, right? All of this stuff and more, this man is doing, contributing greatly, making sure he's made it his mission in life to make sure that he's the champion of evil, the chairperson, the chairman of the Let's Make the World Go to Shit association, right? Let's wreak all the havoc that is possible for humans to wreak on the world and make humanity suffer as much as possible. That's what he is doing. That's who she has been supporting according to her repost on TikTok. But somehow she's affected and uncomfortable and feel like she's getting attacked because of a few words of truth. By the way, I have to emphasize that words of truth that were said in a bar made her uncomfortable. Like, go and touch grass. I wish all the rest of us, especially us black and brown people, have to worry about it just words. We have been forced to deal with very uncomfortable situations for hundreds of years now. But we have to be watching people like this complain about how their feelings were hurt in a bar because of a few words that were said. Like, don't bloody piss me off. Like this video, I'm slowly starting to get pissed. I'm oh my goodness. Like I did not expect for my emotions to just be going up like it is right now while making this video, but it's happening in real time, and like I'm really getting very, very pissed right now. Like this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. Do you know how privileged you have had to live for your biggest problem in life? Something that will make you angry and cry is a few words that were said in a bar. Words that were said because people are angry at how bad the world is at the moment. Like it really just shows that the people she met in this bar just to show, in my humble opinion, that the people that she met in this bar that she's ever met in her entire life, the first group of actual good people that she's ever met in her entire life. Like this individual obviously is surrounded by terrible individuals, terrible people, that when she finally met good people for the first time in her life, she can't see them as good because where she's coming from, what is good has been warped. It's like up is down, down is up kind of situation, right? She can't even spot good if it hits her in the face.
And to me, I was just thinking, I'm like, okay, I was in the wrong for saying Northern Ireland and that we were in the UK, and I got corrected. And I even went so far as to learn what they wanted to say, hear them out. And the one guy even told him, like, hey, they're on holiday. Let's not go there. And they just couldn't help themselves. That I tagged in my video, I'm sorry, I corrected it. Genuinely didn't know. I apologize. I now know very clearly that you guys are Irish, not a part of the UK. I have no beef with that. Not at all. I genuinely just wanted to go in, enjoy some pints, and if it was a friendly conversation, I will gladly go back and forth. But to bring up any sensitive topic, anything like that, I would have said the same thing. Like, I don't want to talk about that. It's uncomfortable, not because of like directly what's going on. Any sensitive topic, why would you want, especially while drinking, why would you want to talk about something so sensitive with complete strangers while you're a guest in their country?
Only you would not want to talk about these quote unquote sensitive topics, which are, by the way, issues of the world that every normal human being should be concerned and want to talk about, because you don't care. You are not affected by these issues, so you don't see why you should be bothered by them. Every decent, sensible human being is worried about what's going on in the world right now. That's what the majority of us, that's the only thing the majority of us seem to want to and can't talk about these days, because like it's truly worrying. We go to bed at night not knowing what could happen tomorrow, especially us in black and brown countries. People who have been at the heel of colonizers and enslavers, who their present generations even can't seem to be able to, for a moment, take a break from wreaking havoc on the planet. And the Irish is one of these people that too got colonized by these people we're talking about. So of course they are worried. Anybody who have sense and knows how to pick up on patterns and have ever read any history book is worried right now with the state of the world. So it's crazy how she's in Ireland, right, reacting like this. Is crazy to me. This is why I said earlier that people need to be reading on, studying the countries that they are going to visit or plan to visit or intend to visit, whatever English. Because imagine being in Ireland and you are so baffled at the fact or by the fact that the Irish are disinvested in politics. Like everybody's invested in politics right now. Everybody with a lick of sense. So yeah, they are so worried that they cannot take a moment to enjoy their pint of beer because it's in the front part of their brain what's going on in the world. And no, they are not going to be sorry. I'm not going to be sorry that I care about the world issues. Not everybody is as privileged as you, Karen. Everybody don't live in the bubble that you live in. Some of us actually have to care about what's going on in the world. And we can't stop talking about these things, not even when we are out for drinks at a bar, because these things affect our day-to-day lives.
I honestly thought I was doing the polite thing. And I didn't say anything mean or nasty to them. I just simply asked my husband if we paid for our pints already, and he said, yes, we did. And I said, okay. I'm like, we need to go. Like, just the atmosphere just felt very negative and hateful. So dislike me if you will. Call me every name in the book. That's fine. Some of those comments were absolutely diabolical and insane. I can't believe people will take time out of their day to write paragraphs of just hate from one person's video. You guys don't know who I am. It's just, you're generalizing, and that's really unfair and uncool. And I would like to say that if anybody came to my country, I would never, ever outright just be like demanding answers to sensitive topics. It's just, in my book, it's not polite. So yeah, I do want to just reiterate any apologies. The intention was not to upset or offend anybody. And for all of the people who have been so kind and sent me wonderful messages or left me a sweet comment, thank you. It meant all the world. And no, that one little bar experience did not tarnish what I saw and did, and the people I met were beautiful. I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time around a lot of drunk people with the world going crazy right now. And so that's the story.
Here are a few comments from our comment section that I thought I should highlight in this video as well, because I totally agree. Eric says, politics aren't a sensitive topic if you are a good person. And she responded back saying, oh, really? Laughing emoji. Like, it's crazy. Religion and politics are two very important things in our world. And in my humble opinion, they speak to the kind of person that you are when we look at how you navigate what you support within these things, right? You cannot say you are a good person if you vote and or support for someone like Trump, for example. Like, I don't know what she's laughing about. Justin says, Trumpers should feel uncomfortable everywhere. 100% agree with that. Ella says, as an Irish person, our very existence is political. As a Black African woman myself, same. Everything about us is political, from our complexion to our hair, our food, our languages, our clothing style, like literally everything. I relate like mad with this comment as an African Black woman. Next comment is from Jessica. She says, someone has some reflecting to do. And she responded back saying, definitely the nasty men in that bar. Like, this person, you know what? Some people are just so far gone. You just have to let them burn in hell. This comment is from, oh, this person don't have a name. They said, you can't stay out of politics in Ireland. And she said, that's sad. This is somebody that her entire page was riddled with politics, according to the comment section and some of the evidence that we have to look at, right? But she don't think the way she leans politically and how involved she is to whatever degree it was, she don't think, or she didn't think that was sad. But now all of a sudden, when it's the people in Ireland and how they relate and are involved in politics, all of a sudden it's sad because they don't think and feel the same way that she does. They don't have the same values that she does. Reality says, I hope you get that welcome everywhere you go. The Irish are amazing. And she liked that comment and dropped a thank you. I don't think she understood really what Reality was saying there. I think the points flew right over her head.
Smart people don't like me, and they don't like what we talk about.
Lauren says, as an American, if you travel anywhere, you should 100% expect to be asked who you voted for. And that's true. If I meet an American tomorrow, I'm asking them definitely who they voted for, because I need to know if I want to be in your presence breathing the same oxygen that you are breathing. And she responded back saying, it's totally fine. What is not fine is being ridiculed for not wanting to discuss any kind of sensitive topic. Like, she's still going on and on and on with this whole sensitive topic crap. Like, anyways, on to the next comment. Queen says, the whole world hates Trump. You have to remember that. From B, they're asking, so I still haven't actually seen you denounce Trump and his mates at any point. Are we uncomfortable for our poor voting choices? She responded back saying, absolutely not, but I don't find it appropriate to go along stating my opinions. But not too long ago, she was stating her opinions just fine using the repost option available on TikTok though.
Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. You were a foreigner visiting another country and somebody asked who you voted for and you felt what, disrespected? You came onto TikTok to cry about it. Wow, it's so weird. Because according to you, like, nobody insulted you, nobody attacked you. They literally just asked you who you voted for while the news about the United States was already on. That's not disrespect. You're a grown woman. You know that. That's them trying to figure out if the American sitting in the room with them supports the policies that they are watching on TV that affect them. Honestly, that's them giving you the benefit of the doubt, which is more than our own government gives a lot of people in our country right now. And then you said that you didn't want to talk about politics, which I think is especially hilarious to say while visiting Ireland, like a country whose modern history is literally built on political struggle and fighting for their political identity. Meanwhile, I've never once hesitated when somebody asked me who I voted for, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. No pause, no discomfort, because I stand by the values behind that vote, right? So it really makes me wonder, why does MAGA get so bashful when somebody asks who they voted for? If you're proud of the policies and proud of the candidates, proud of the direction you think this country is going in, why the hesitation? Why the sudden urge to say, well, I don't want to talk about politics? Because if you're comfortable with the consequences of the policies that you voted for, the way it's affecting immigrants, the way it's affecting marginalized people, the way it's affecting the rest of the world, then saying that you voted for that candidate, it shouldn't be a problem, right? It sounds like you went to another country, a country that once again is directly affected by US policies. They asked you a very simple question about where you stand. You refused to answer, and now you're on the internet trying to paint those perfectly polite people as villains, when the reality is you're just embarrassed to admit what you believe. Shame on you. That is weirdo behavior. Don't do that again. Take this video down.
It's moments like this that I sometimes, very rarely, I have to emphasize on this, miss the time or the days when I was religious, because back then it was easier for me to, sit comfortably thinking that one day these evil people are going to get punished, are going to get what they deserve, karma, at least, something as some kind of consequences for bringing the kind of evil and enacting, perpetuating, the responsibility, the role that they play for the world that we have right now. The comfort I used to have back then, knowing that these people are going to get punished in some way, get the punishment that they deserve for it. I miss it. I low-key miss having that. I'm not going to lie. Even when I mentioned hell earlier, I just mentioned it in like passing as per, one of those things that we say, right? I don't believe in hell anymore, but sometimes I cannot help but low-key wish, that still exists. I miss when I was religious and had that belief that, yeah, they are going to get punished when they're in hell for this, because I want punishment, guys. I want some kind of retribution for the isha we are going through in the world. Like, somebody should pay, please. How can we get that? There should be being in support of, when are we going to have a world where being in support of this kind of evil, this gross level of kind of evil, oh my goodness, my English is not working anymore. When are we going to get to a point where we maybe are going to be able to make supporting evil like this, championing evil like this, not caring about humanity, right, is going to be a crime? Like, when are we going to get to that point? I guess that's the point I was trying to make with this very long-winded rambling of mine. um, Anyways, I'm running out of breath and I need to go cool down because I'm very angry, guys. This video really pissed me off. It really did. The entitlement, the lack of care, the insensitivity, all of it, everything about the video, it's crazy to me and it really pissed me off. I want to quickly bring this to you guys though. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are about all of this. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be catching you in the next one.
Of being a bad person because you're from the United States.
That is not what happened. We all know that is not what happened. I mean, she is a bad person and she probably did get called a bad person, but it wasn't because she's American. Every single time someone finds out that I'm American, they always have sympathy for me. They're just like, oh, I'm so sorry what's happening to your country. That is not what happened. That lady is a Trumper and someone called her out on it.